Okay. So hello everyone. It's great to see some familiar faces and meet new ones. So for those who don't know me yet, I'm Jeba. So I finished my PhD last year from UNC Charlotte, and now I'm working as an assistant professor at Towson University. So the paper I'm going to present is a work done with my PhD advisor, Maher. And in this work, we introduce a framework utilizing conceptual models for exploring mental models of co-creative AI. So let's dive into it. So before we dive into the framework, let's clarify the definitions of the two key terms of this work: mental models and conceptual models. So mental models are cognitive constructs developed through real-world experiences that allow humans to understand how a system functions. So mental models are subjective and shaped by an individual's beliefs, values, and experiences. So on the other hand, conceptual models are representations of a target system developed purposefully by experts, unlike mental models, which are developed quickly and often unconsciously. So why should we explore mental models? So to develop human-centered co-creative AI, understanding users' mental models is crucial, as people are more motivated to use AI when AI is congruent with their values, goals, and needs. And the effectiveness of co-creative AI is influenced by users and their social context. And additionally, the literature on users' mental models of co-creative AI is notably limited, leaving several important questions unanswered, such as what types of mental models do users have? And is there any association between mental models and maybe user demographics and users' ethical preferences? So to answer these questions and explore mental models, we need to establish a clear focus on what we seek within the mental models, as mental models are essentially black boxes. So conceptual model of co-creative AI offer a structured approach to investigate the core components of users' mental models. And our work adopts conceptual models as the basis of a framework for exploring mental models. However, the existing literature lacks substantial research on conceptual model of co-creative AI again, resulting in a research gap when it comes to identifying the core components of co-creative AI. Therefore, our research question was, what are the constructs of conceptual models of co-creative AI? So to answer that question, we conducted a literature review to identify the key components of each construct as to characterize conceptual models aligning with the scientifically accepted knowledge. And we used Google Scholar as our search database to conduct the literature review with specific keywords. And our conceptual models draws inspiration from Conceptual et al.'s research, which introduces three metrics for evaluating co-creative systems, which are novelty, interaction, and value. We adopted and adapted these categories as the primary constructs of our framework, and to identify the keywords, we used these metrics. So we developed these conceptual models of co-creative AI, including the three main constructs, which are creativity model, interaction model, and utility model. And these three constructs have their own key components. So I'll talk about these components, the main constructs. So the creativity model encompasses the computational creativity aspect of co-creative AI, focusing on creative content generation by AI and the roles of AI in the creative process. And this model represents how a co-creative AI generates content, the capabilities of the AI, and the extent of surprise, value, and novelty of the generated content. And to effectively understand the creativity model, we suggest exploring AI roles, AI contribution, surprise, and novelty. We also offer these questions to explore these components. Next comes interaction model, which represents how a co-creative AI interacts and collaborates with humans. It includes the metaphorical representation of the type of collaboration, the communication quality, and the characterization of the human AI interaction. And we also offer these questions to explore the key components: AI metaphor, quality of communication, and interaction type. The last one is utility model, which encompasses the overall effectiveness of a co-creative AI. So we suggest exploring usefulness, ease of use, and overall satisfaction as the key components of utility model. And again, we offer this question to explore these key components. So finally, as our contribution, our conceptual model of co-creative AI can be used to explore and represent the key components in users' mental models. Researchers can employ surveys, interviews, and other methods based on the framework to explore and present the key components of users' mental models. The conceptual model can also be utilized to analyze users' mental models across diverse contexts and user groups. It can also be used while developing explainable co-creative AI, because the constructs of the conceptual model can be used for conveying contextual information regarding each constructs, like creativity model, interaction model, and utility model, suggesting an accurate mental model of the system, which is essential for the users to understand the system and engage effectively with the system. And lastly, the framework can be used to develop tools that help users understand complex co-creative AI in different domains. So lastly, I also wanted to share a little about the current and future work with the framework we developed. The current works are not presented in the paper. We conducted these after we came up with the framework. So using our framework, we have conducted a study with 155 participants to explore mental models of two popular AI systems, ChatGPT and Stable Diffusions. So participants completed creative tasks with each of these AI and completed survey questions. And we developed the survey questions based on our framework. And the study generated a lot of interesting findings, and I'll share a few of them. So we found out that individuals with AI expertise typically have positive mental models, while those lacking AI literacy tend to have more negative mental models. And when I say positive mental models, I'm referring to a mental model that embodies positive attitudes toward a system. So we found that individuals with positive mental models usually have a positive attitude towards ethical issues, like different ethical issues such as anthropomorphism in AI, data collection by AI, and AI societal impact. Lastly, we found, aligning with other current research that we see, that conversational AI is generally perceived as a collaborator, which was ChatGPT in our case, and non-conversational AI is typically viewed as a tool, which was Stable Diffusion. So for future work, because the questions we propose to explore the key components of our framework are drawn from the existing literature, but they have not been formally validated. Our future work could involve extending the framework to develop a comprehensive questionnaire for exploring mental models. And lastly, the conceptual model raises questions regarding decision-making within various modules of co-creative AI. For instance, AI roles, contribution, metaphor, and interaction design, which also needs further research. So that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Please ask me if you have questions.
Okay, I think we have time for one question if we want to keep our session on time. Are there any questions from the people here in the room? Yes.
Yeah, great presentation. I just wanted to learn more about your point about conversational AI is generally perceived as a collaborator and non-conversational is considered or viewed more towards like a tool. Could you elaborate that point a bit more? Like what makes it seem like a collaborator versus a tool?
Yeah, so when we asked the participants which like what do you think about the interaction with the system and how do you feel about the system like while interacting and how do you perceive the system like based on the interaction model of our framework, like most of them said for conversational AI like ChatGPT, they perceived it as collaborator, like they perceived it as more like how can I say, like human collaborator, more like an entity in collaboration. And on the other hand, for stable diffusion, which lacks conversational interaction, they typically viewed it as just a mere tool, if I can say that. Yeah.